I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch.
Okay, guys, we got a bonus song for you beautiful people. This is from IU, Love Wins All. Is this another Revo? This looks like a Revo. It's got to be Revo.
He said the next 2 songs, but yeah, I don't know.
Love Wins All is the name of the song. This is number 14 on the trending list at the time I put this together. This is from K-pop singer-songwriter IU. She was born in 1993. Due to her family's poverty, she was raised by her grandmother and uncle. Her favorite genre of music were sad ballads, which was a dominant genre from when the democracy was beginning in their country in 1987 until the mid-2000s. This is what we're talking about. They were pretty tyrannical and things of that nature. And when the concept of democracy started coming in 1987, you started to see some changes and a lot more, freedom than before. Not perfect, but getting there. We continue. That was almost 40 years ago, guys. Until the mid-2000s, she debuted at the age of 15 in 2008 with a dark ballad-side song called Lost Child, but it was largely ignored in the more colorful bubblegum pop that was taking over the market at the time. Yeah, that makes sense. Her and her company had to adjust these trends to stay relevant. Actually, you'll see this fan-made video uses a colorful marshmallow character in the logo from her song, Marshmallow. Her songs went massive in her home country, and she set records with her songs that combined fairy tales and sci-fi adventures. She became known as the nation's little sister with her girl next door image. I got into K-pop with her generation of K-pop, second gen, and her songs were never as viral or famous with international fans, but domestically, her songs are unstoppable. It's international fans. It was really awesome to see these days. She seems to be becoming better well-known internationally. She became a songwriter in her own right as well as an actress. She wrote this song with Seo Dong Hwan, a member of BTS named V, plays her male counterpart in the music video. This is a ballad that was released on January 23rd, 2024.
It just came out.
And is a pre-release of her upcoming EP, Winner. The song was originally announced as Love Wins, but 3 days before its release, it was announced to be changed to Love Wins All. It's a pre-release song, so the main single will be released next month when the EP drops. You know why they changed the title of that song.
No.
Because Rob Bell wrote a book called Love Wins, and it was massively controversial. So if they did the little Google algorithm search thingamajig when you made something, that's probably what happened. I don't know. Maybe not. All right, guys, here we go. Love Wins All IU. Shout out to Jet, who's like the OG. You stayed with us all the way to the end, girl. We appreciate you. Love Wins All. Subtitle all. Let's do it.
at night.
Listen, feel how you want to feel, okay? Go look at the U.S. Congress, David Grush and the other guys. Literally, dude in the Air Force is up in the air, 30,000 feet in the air. He describes seeing these cubes that are circular,
Yes,
floating in the air.
And a cube inside.
Okay?
Yeah.
Floating in the air, just staying there, which if you,
Like a box in a bowl.
It's like, think about like if you placed a box in the middle of like a rushing ocean or a rushing river, like that box wouldn't stay there, right? That's kind of what's happening with the currents in the air, and them shits are just staying up there. Dude, if I ever saw some shit like that, bro, I'd be out. These dudes are saying they're seeing this shit every day. Chill, bro. Chill out. Chill out. I'm not going up there. Shout out to all them white people up there in them planes, man. You know ain't no brothers up there, no Air Force in them planes, especially if you see them boxes. It's gonna be out. Be like, peace. You guys go ahead and protect the country from these boxes, bro. We out. So we like it. Damn, JB. We'll be back, bro. captured.
That's what I thought myself too. So this thing keeps taking people, just dropping the clothes.
Blockhead
So that whole pile was.
Yeah, they're taking their essence. Love wins all. My man Waldo has some of the most well-placed observations. He said, that cube did nothing wrong.
Facts.
The cube did nothing wrong. This song, I don't know. This is going to be a compliment. People are going to take it the wrong way. This seemed to be a more lyrically dead song that I'm used to for K-pop. This was a lyrically very, very dead song. Like she was saying, like, we take these paths together because we choose to, which is very interesting to me because I'd have these debates with this girl once about, like, what was more romantic, fate or people or not. Mm-hmm. And this girl was a big fate person, blah, blah, blah. You came from everywhere, and you moved all over the place, and then boom, we ended up together, blah, blah, blah. You don't know her. And I was like, I think it's more like, it's better if people like actively choose to be with each other and continue to choose to be with each other versus saying that they were fated to be with each other. And I never understood the romance of you were fated from the beginning to be with each other. It's like, well, then how is it special? Like, if I was randomly fated to be with, Janet Jackson, then I'd have been with her. So, like, what's... Mm-hmm. So, so I liked that. It seemed like she was dealing with that conversation to a degree when she made the line about, like, choosing to be with each other to the end. Mm-hmm. Which... Go ahead.
I always thought fate was the most romantic, like stars align, like you're destined to be together, you find each other, like what that girl was describing, like you've been all over the place, but then we found each other, like that whole idea. I do think that there's romance in both. Like, I think that there's romance in like that sort of story, but I also think that I don't think that there's romance in like two people holding on for dear life for the kid's sake or whatever. The mic is too low. I don't think that it's like that. You know what I mean? Like when two people are like just holding on for dear life for the kids or for whatever reason. I don't think that's romantic. I do think that two people choosing each other, and facing difficulties, but growing through the difficulties and not staying the same way. I think that that's, I guess, expressing love to each other that way. I think that my thoughts and ideas about love and romance are changing the older that I get. Like, I think I always liked that fate sort of perfection, the, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know. But in those stories where everything is like perfect and happily ever after, you're not factoring in that like they used to joke that there was this little movie series that was in the Christian community. It was like, love comes softly, love's abiding, whatever. Love's
abiding joy.
Love's abiding joy.
I could not believe that people were reading these books, bro. Like, honestly, Google it.
Yeah, the college that I went to, it was very strict. And there was only like a few movies that we could even watch. And those were one of them. Anyway, so the guys started laughing and joking in college about like, they need to come up with another one that's Love Does Laundry. And I was so friggin' offended by that. I was like, wow, dude. I do think, though, that there is like, I think what they were saying is like, this is all the like lovey whatever. Like, there's real practical sides to love that was not being portrayed in the movie. So, that is part of it. Like, when
is it the one where the guy died, fell on the horse, and then?
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed like there was a very practical like progression of how they got together. Like he had to win her over.
Yes, but
he had to be very pragmatic. He had to say, "Hey, you're in a bad situation. I'm in a bad situation. Let's get married. Yes. I won't touch you."
Yes, but
I thought there was a lot of
you
practicality.
You don't see the like this is how relationships work. This is the difficulties. This is like, like I mean, like I said, in those forums where I see other moms and women, like I see so many people being like, dude, I'm so sick of cooking dinner every single day. Like I'm so bored of the same meals. Like I don't even know what to cook. Like it doesn't mean that they like hate their family. It's just like I've run out of ideas of doing this every single day. But
Do
there's
you
like,
think? Do you think that? This is a genuine question. Do you think that like dudes were watching that movie and being like, okay, so she's gonna cook a 5-course meal every day now? And like, do you think that dudes are like surprised that their wives are not cooking 5-course meals every day?
no,
Do you think they're like disappointed
that they're not cooking 5-course meals.
every day?
No.
So like what do you mean? Like what was the movie portraying that was not like practical to real life, that was
No, I think
setting
it's
weird
just.
expectations?
I think what it is because what you see is she loses her husband. Then the two, like they get a practical sort of arrangement.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
she needs a place to stay for the winter, and he'll send her back on the wagon train in the spring.
And he needs somebody to take care of his daughter because his wife just died, right?
Right, exactly. So he says like it's completely platonic. He's gonna live in the barn, blah blah blah. And so you just see like his real like gentleness with her and his like giving her space to like heal, but that he does start falling in love with her, and she also starts falling in love with him. But it's like, I mean, is the other one he's trying to be a real gentleman and doesn't want to like move on anything, and she's like, does he feel this way? He probably doesn't. So it's this sort of like dance throughout the time, and then it's time for them to leave. But you don't see the practical side of like, because again, like he's completely gentle with her because she's in a healing process, and it's you don't see the everyday stuff like, okay, he gets up for work at 5 o'clock in the morning and heads off to work, and he doesn't want to or doesn't feel like it, but he's doing it for his family because he loves his family. Or she's waking up and she's cooking the 100th millionth meal and folding the friggin' shirt. It's again, like the stuff that gets done and undone and done and undone. Like those things in marriages that that I think that's what they were saying. I think that they were trying to be like, it's not just all like this. Like,
I mean, the dudes at your school, I don't really think very highly of them, and I don't really trust
I don't either.
much of what they had to say. But I mean, I watched as much of that movie as I could tolerate with you.
You watched the entire thing, didn't you?
Nah,
I don't remember you shutting it off.
I didn't shut it off.
You fell asleep?
I shut off.
Oh.
I'm actually gonna watch it tonight, though, whether or not you watch it. But like, yeah, like when I watch a movie like that, I feel like we're asking way too much of the movie. The point of the movie was to say, it seemed to me to be a direct attack to romanticism. Because they started out as okay, so there's two ways, there's a lot of ways to look at relationships. One way is romanticism, which Wolves in the Mist defined probably better than I've seen in a long time. Check this out, guys. There is something to be said for kismet with romance, a look, a glance, knowing within a heartbeat that your soulmate is made for you. There is magic in the moment when you find your twin flame. There's also a lot of fire. Houses get burned down, all types of shit. People get hurt, all types of shit. Witches get burned at the stake. A lot of shit happen with flames, my bro. But you're right. I'm sorry that sounded more romantic than I intended my comment to be. I don't apologize. Like, that is a really good articulation of the romantic or the romanticist perspective on relationships. And you know what? In the Bible, you have that. Mm-hmm. The minute Isaac saw Rebecca, that was it. And he was with her forever, and it was only her, and that was it. Same thing with Abraham and Sarah. That was his girl. That's the only one he loved. She was telling him to sleep with other women, but not, his girl. That was his girl. So you do have this very romantic sort of, Romeo and Juliet type love that's found in scripture and obviously real life. But then there's the pragmatist, which is honestly the majority report for most of time in human history, which was, we have pragmatic reasons for why we need to come together to team up. I mean, one, ultimately at the evolutionary level, we have to replicate the species, right? That's one. The other one would be, sure, at the spiritual level, God is bringing two together, and Malachi says, why did he bring two together? Because he was seeking godly offspring. And so there's a lot of practical reasons. Like, honestly, like initially in the Bible, when Adam and Eve were mentioned, pragma the you know what? I'm going to take away pragmatism because I don't like the term, and I'm going to replace it with purposism. Okay? So you have romanticism, pragmatism, and purposism. Okay? So pragmatism is your movie, Love Comes Softly. Your husband is dead. My wife just died. I have a daughter in need of a mother. You need shelter. Let's get married. I ain't going to touch you. That means there's not a lot of romanticism happening.
Mm-hmm.
They just were both in a bad situation, and pragmatically it made sense. Same thing with King Solomon marrying all these other women. A lot of times marriages in the old world was about bringing families together or bringing warring clans together. Mm-hmm. So O'Block and STL have been fighting for years and years, bloodshed on both sides, and then this girl marries this guy from O'Block, and now you can't have beef because now both sides have a child. Okay? That's pragmatism.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biblical model, and don't quote me on this because I just came up with it, is purposism. When God talked about Adam and Eve, he says, let's make man in our image. And this is plural all throughout the text, so obviously he's talking about Adam and Eve. And give them dominion over all the earth. So when the first time Adam and Eve are mentioned together, it's because they were together as a purpose to rule together. Mm-hmm. So in the mind of God, it wasn't pragmatism, it wasn't romanticism, it was purposism, meaning these two are together for a purpose. They're supposed to rule the world together. Okay, that's purposism. But a subsidiary of that is, okay, how does God make it so that the purpose manifests itself in a way that we like it? And so when Adam sees Eve for the first time, he bursts into a song. He says, ah! And it's interesting because God sets Adam up. He has him name all the animals or whatever. Mm-hmm. And you can think it's basic, but at the end of the text it says, but for Adam there was no counterpart formed. Mm-hmm. And the Hebrew word for counterpart literally means same opposite. For Adam, there was no same opposite. And so God puts him to sleep. He dies. His side is pierced. And then out from his side comes his bride. Okay? Put that together. And then when Adam sees her, he says, oh, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, she'll be called a woman because she came from man. Or he says, she shall be called Isha because she came from an Ish. Ish means man. Isha means woman. And so, yo, this is me. So there was that's romanticism. And if you look at the way the text is formulated, it was a poem. He burst into a song and a poem. He started rapping when he saw this girl. No, she didn't have any clothes on. Okay? She's the second. Anyway. But you see what I'm saying? Like, in Genesis 1 and 2, you see the marriage of purpose and romanticism. And I think the point of that is to say romanticism is great, and I think romanticism should be strived for, actually, as an ideal. And that relationship will make it so long as the romanticism is subsumed under purpose. I do not think that pragmatism is enough to keep people together. I also do not think that romanticism is enough to keep people together.
I agree.
But I do think purpose combined with that, you ought to have some emotion. I mean, I had a guy, he used to mentor me, and he's like, your emotions don't matter. Love is a choice, man. It's a reason, man, like there's 50% of marriages are ending in divorce, man, in the church, bro. Like, you can't say that because it's just a lie. You can't say, oh, it's not about feelings. It's all about commitment. Man, shut the hell up. So why is Jesus saying all these things? Like, Jesus sounds pretty emotional when he's talking about me.
Mm-hmm.
He seems pretty emotional when he's talking about us. I'm praying for them. I'm not praying for the world, but for those you have given me.
Yep.
All I have is yours, and all you have is mine, and glory has come to me through them. I'm praying for them because I am leaving, and the enemy's coming for them, but protect them by the power of your word, blah, blah, blah. He just over and over and over again. Like, I watched that prayer in John chapter 17. Like, he's not just strolling down the park. Like, he's going in for me, man. So, I when he says, "This bread is my flesh, which I'll give for the life of the world," like those are emotional statements, man. So, but Jesus is also very purposeful, and there's a lot of times where he's like, "Man, fuck this guy, bro." But now I got a purpose for him, so because of that, you stand today. There's a purpose for you to be around here, and so I just think that if you approach your marriage first with purpose, and then work like hell to make the romanticism come, like you'll be in good shape. But if you don't have a purpose in your relationship, there's no tell-offs. Y'all ain't going anywhere. You guys are just kind of like bumping around and passing on genes and shit. Go for it. Go for it. I just think it's an empty life, bro. You feel me? So I think I thought it was a beautiful song. It was a good song. I'm gonna give it a 9.5. Kudos to Love. What were y'all?
Oh my word, I liked it. I kind of like. Well, it was a ballad, and it felt like a ballad, even though
Yeah.
it sounded like from the comment before that it wasn't going to actually be that. But I loved it, and I thought it was very beautiful sounding. The visuals I thought were interesting because obviously you had like the sci-fi mixing with the apocalypse, and it was just. But then there was
I loved
also
it.
like the when they go in there and you're like, what's happening? There's this box following them, and then they're recording each other where they're imagining to eat these things. And I think that there is an element to relationships that is like that, where you may not have everything that you want or everything that you feel that you need necessarily. Life can get difficult, and it's two sinners with each other. But I think, well, I always feel like fun is a part of a relationship, and without fun, I think that, like, we were listening to that person. Were you listening with me? He said we haven't looked at each other for almost over a year. We don't look at each other. We don't talk to each other.
Nah, we didn't.
Yeah, it was really like it was so heavy to hear something like that. I was like, wow. But I think that they ended up like figuring their shit out and then like created a course or something. I don't know. I don't even.
Created a course.
I thought that you had like I thought that it was one of those military videos that you were listening to, but perhaps it wasn't. But anyway, like that, like I never would want to. Like I think that people find themselves there where you're at the end, like this weird place in your relationship where you don't look at each other, you don't talk to each other, you just two separate lives, like just like in the same vicinity. And the more that I think about like how the physical world is not.
How how many relationships have you actually seen like that?
Oh,
For a year? They
oh
don't
well,
talk?
no, not that extreme, but like where you don't ever see, they don't play, they don't have like fun, they don't look like they enjoy each other. Like when one talks, the other one looks like they're just sick of hearing talk. Like I've seen those relationships, and you remember Shorty from whatever she said she doesn't see any healthy relationships,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
like I think that's a real problem. So I think I agree with what you're saying. I think that there has to be purpose at the like that's like the front of the ship is like the purpose and where you're going, what you're doing. And then I do think that you could build on the romantic stuff underneath. And I also think that fun is important. And I brought up the fun because you already hit the other 2 points. And I saw them having fun in the video because they lacked something. They didn't have the food, so they pretended that they did, and they shot videos about it, and they just tried to enjoy what they had. And I think that's beautiful when relationships are still like that. But when they're like dead and they're just like sitting there together, I don't know. Like I hate seeing those types of relationships where it could be just like a season. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you go through stuff, but I
I
don't
don't
know.
know, man. I'd have took some boring, uneventful situations in my last situation, bro. I would have taken a couple of days of that for sure. 9.4. What'd you give it?
9.6.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out.
Thanks for coming through,
49 freaking likes. Somebody give us a thumb up or a thumb down. We're going to see you guys
Sorry,
really
it went a
soon,
little
guys.
long.
Season 3, we've been talking about it. I promise you, it's going to come. It's going to come before you realize it, just like the Rapture, which is kind of what we saw here. This is great, guys. Hey! Good job. We hit 50. Later, Jet. Later, JB. Much love to all you beautiful people. We are out of here. We are gone. Shout out to Revo. Shout out to Cecil. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna hit you up for sure.
Yeah,
Vin
Big
out.
Homie just jumped on Patreon too.
Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone.